Welcome to Living in Westchester. I'm Ileana Fleischman, and today we're talking about the benefits of having an au pair. My husband and I have hosted au pairs in our home over the last 3 years, starting in June of 2020. This week, I got a call letting me know that one of my clients is signing up to get their very own au pair. So it reminded me about how important childcare is, especially when you're moving to an area where you don't have anyone you know, like parents, aunts and uncles, or cousins to give you an extra set of hands or help you during the times where maybe the kids are out of school or out of daycare, etc. So I wanted to chat a little bit about the benefits that we have seen from having an au pair. So we had actually started thinking about hosting an au pair before the pandemic, and right as the pandemic hit, when the world stopped and everything just felt like it was up in the air and we didn't know what would happen to our jobs, our incomes, etc., we put our search on hold. Once it became clear that the world was still going to continue, maybe with some adjustments like homeschool, we quickly realized that we could not keep going being the sole source of entertainment, education, extracurriculars, transportation, etc. for our kids while still holding 2 full-time jobs between my husband and I. So again, the prospect of hosting an au pair in our home came back into full swing, and we decided to take the leap of faith and move forward with the process. And the way we did it was, since we were so motivated and we knew we wanted someone right away, and because at the same time borders were closed due to the pandemic, since June 2020 was still very early on, we decided to search for au pairs that were already in the country and looking for a new host family. So whether they were in rematch or extending for their second year but wanted a change of scenery, that's who we wanted. And that worked super well for us. We were thrilled with our first au pair. She's actually someone who I became really close to. The girls are super close with, and to this day we still stay in touch. Number one, without a doubt, is the benefit of giving you your time back. I remember before we had an au pair, I was in charge of shuffling the kids around to their activities after school. And that was easy enough when the kids did not have as many activities, when they were doing everything together, and when there were only 2 or 3 things per week. As my kids got older and each one started having multiple and separate activities, having to shuffle them around after school became literally work. It was so difficult to have a full-time job and take the kids from place to place, track their activities and their whereabouts at all times, while I still had to take client calls and be in meetings. So my work schedule definitely suffered because of this, and we reached a tipping point where it no longer made sense for me to do the work of a nanny. After having an au pair, I got back all of the hours that I was spending doing things like driving my kids around after school to all of their activities. Got the time back that I would spend in the mornings and afternoons cleaning up their room, getting them ready for bed, cleaning up after they eat, etc. I also got the time back that I was spending preparing their meals. I also got back the time that I was spending doing their laundry. In my house, I do not like to wash my kids' clothes with our adult clothes. I started when they were babies, and I've never integrated the kids' clothes into the adult clothes, and that served me well because now my au pair takes on that task. Again, saving me at least 2 hours a week where I don't have to sort laundry, wash laundry, or fold and put things away. I got some of the time back that I was using to spend helping my kids with homework. So now when my kids get home, instead of having to wait for my husband or I to be done with work to help with those difficult homework questions, they always go to the au pair first. If there's something that the au pair can't help with, then my husband and I take over once we're done with our work day. So overall, I would say that's the biggest game changer, is how many hours in the week the au pairs really give us back so that we can get back to being super productive with our work lives and also taking care of our home and our kids in other ways. So another benefit to having the au pair is just having an extra set of hands or an extra set of eyes, even while you're there. Sometimes the au pair is with us while we're with the kids. And again, it's just helpful to have someone wrangle one kid while you're with the other kid, while you're getting something done. It's just a huge help. And it's a big relief knowing that it's not just you who has to tackle everything. Another great benefit that we found in our family was that you get to have someone watching your children and sticking to the guidelines and the schedules that you have set forth. So what we found in our household is that although it is amazing and truly a blessing to have grandparents and aunts and uncles watch our kids, those family members will watch your children the way that is convenient for them. They will not follow your rules. They will not follow your schedule. And so as much fun as it is to have the kids go away and spend time with grandma or be at auntie's house, the way that they ruin the structure that you have set up becomes mayhem. And so when you have an au pair, you have someone who's actually going to watch the kids, and they're going to follow your guidelines. They're going to listen to what you're asking them to. And it's going to be much more seamless because they really do follow whatever you set forth. So if you like to have a very strict schedule for your kids, or if you like to do things a certain way, when you have an au pair, they actually follow through with that. Unlike grandma and grandpa who just get to do whatever they want. Another amazing benefit to having an au pair is, I would say, peace of mind, because I know the kids are in my house. I can drop in whenever I need. I see what's going on. I hear what's going on. We have cameras in certain areas. The au pairs know that. I check in, they check in. I have constant communication as often as I want or need. Unlike with a daycare, where obviously communication can be very limited or only limited to certain times of day. And then obviously there's no bigger peace of mind than having the kids be inside their home. It's familiar for them, it's familiar for you, everybody's comfortable, everything is where they want it to be, and it just makes things a lot more relaxed. Plus, I know where my kids are at all times, whether they're at play dates, practice, or at home. I know what's going on, and I can keep better track of the kids. Another huge plus to an au pair is they work around your schedule. If your schedule is straightforward, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, that's great. We have something that's a little bit different. We have time slots in the morning for breakfast, drop off, and cleaning up their room. And then our au pair starts again in the afternoon with pickup, snacks, taking the kids to all their activities, dinner, and getting the kids ready for bed. So there's also families that work on weekends, so you can have your au pair work on the weekends and give them days off during the week. But whatever your schedule is, you now have someone who's going to work around you, unlike when you have other childcare scenarios where you have to work around the childcare. Another great thing about having an au pair is that they're really happy and excited to be here. They usually come in and they want to be doing their job. They're excited. The au pairs we have done such an amazing job of being happy, positive, and super patient. So it's nice to have that energy, and especially around your kids. That brings me to another benefit, which is having another role model for your kids inside your home. I know for my husband and I, as we work from home more and more, we're not always the best role models when we are rushing to take a phone call, when we're stressed out about a meeting and things like that. But having the au pair there gives them another person to kind of feed off of, instead of the stressed out mom and dad who are in the middle of a work day or who may have some other things going on. So it helps kind of offset whatever problems or whatever you may have going on, because there's always a third person there that they can turn to and get support from. It's also a new person that exposes them to different things. For us, it's been exposing our kids to different music. One of our au pairs was really into K-pop, so our kids had a heavy K-pop season for a while. Another one was into this like famous Spanish speaking singer-songwriter whose music the kids fell in love with. And another one of our au pairs was like super clean and organized. And of course we loved her as an example and a role model for our kids to have. So they always bring some new energy and new ideas to your home. And of course that leads into the cultural exchange component of the program. So we've had au pairs from 3 different countries so far. We've had Mexico, we've had Brazil, and we've had Spain. So each time our kids are learning about different food, different culture, or a new language. They're getting to practice Spanish, and it's also helped them to start to learn a new language as well. Benefits of an au pair are definitely countless. This is just a brief list. But I can say if you feel like you are overwhelmed and you need help and you could use an extra set of hands, and maybe you're intimidated by the cost of hiring a full-time nanny, I would highly, highly recommend getting an au pair. For us, it has been a godsend. It has been so helpful. And I don't know that we could ever turn back to just try to do everything on our own. In fact, I think we had a period at one point where we were without an au pair, maybe for like a week, and we were going crazy because they just come in and they take over and they make things so much easier. The kids are happier, we're happier, and it just makes our family and our life function a lot better. Have any other questions about what it's like to host an au pair, or what the process is like, or anything you can think of, please feel free to reach out. Like I said, we've hosted au pairs for the last 3 years. We've had a total of 4 so far. I cannot imagine looking back. If you're on the fence, I hope this gives you some reassurance. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. As always, I'm Ileana Fleischman, and I look forward to bringing you home.